Hello everybody, brilliant time again. It's the weekend and I thought I would share something around karmic inheritance, karmic destiny, and living your soul truth. So our soul truth is our soul map, our blue templates. It's what we've innately got stored inside us. The key is, how do we wake it up? How do we become conscious of it? How do we remember it so that we can live the truth of what's on our soul map, which is our highest level of existence, our highest opportunity to reach our highest purpose, what we're here to be. But we also have the human experience, which we have to work through in order to get to the soul path and be able to consistently maintain staying on the soul path. That doesn't mean that we don't do anything human anymore. We have to keep a foot in the real world, if you like. We have to keep a foot in the matrix to some degree in order to fulfill our reality, so that we bring down our karmic inheritance, our spiritual intelligence, and we kind of integrate it into the human experience, which is then achieving our purpose and bringing it to all for their highest good, our highest good, and to play our part in what we're here to do. So our karmic inheritance and our karmic destiny are similar and different. Our karmic inheritance is what's come down through our ancestral spiritual lineage, and it comes down to us that it's fated for us to wake up and fulfill that purpose. Our karmic destiny is actually living that out. So the destiny is the highest potential, but there are many things that will stop us doing that. So we may not fulfill our karmic destiny, which means kind of going through certain experiences like gates, chapters at certain times that are fated in order to get us to that destiny, which means usually we go through hell, if you like. We go through very big hardships, and it's not what we go through that counts, it's how we go through it and how we come out of it. And a big theme for me this week is how many of us are able to truly go through real deep pain and still keep an open heart. It's really common to go through pain. The human experience would be to shut the heart down in protection and self-preservation. The soul experience is to go beyond that. It's to heal everything that then says, well, I'm fearful to keep my heart open because this has happened in my past, and we are creatures of habit that are petrified of history repeating. And when we know what pain is, in the human, in the ego, in the mind, we will do everything to protect ourselves from going through something again. But when we go down the spiritual path, we know what pain is. We work with pain and we do everything to prevent it from happening again, but in a healthy way, not in a shut down, protect myself and hide away way, in a work through perseverance. So we work through healing, we work through the pain body, we work where we've stored the trauma, we understand what's led to what we've been through, or how to protect ourselves in the future, or how to release the pain. Because actually, from the crisis point of trauma, if we work it well, we become our greatest self, because we become, if you like, enlightened, we become wiser, we become more mature, we become deeper, we have a bigger insight into life, because the whole point of the human experience is experience itself. So if we shut down, that is a normal part of the human conditioning and passage, but where is the growth? And do you want to keep coming back and doing it again and again and again? The growth is, what am I going to get silver lining from this? And how do I stay open so that I am ready? This is the boot camp training ground for my karmic destiny, for my highest path, for me to fulfill what was written into my blueprints, into my codes, into my light codes, into my spiritual DNA, in order to remember at certain trigger points through the map of my life, in order to be able to fulfill that mission. If we went through nothing, that high level soul destiny karmic blueprint we have would not be able to come into being. We have to go through Earth School, which is pretty much going through every single emotion that we can, but it's what we do with that. So remember, the first part, the human path, is we usually get stuck in these things, going through them again and again and again. We struggle with knowing how to let go. We struggle with forgiveness. We feel powerless. Anything could happen to us. We're really vulnerable. Or eventually that gets so painful and so unbearable and so uncomfortable, that's part of the journey too, that finally we take a leap of faith and think, actually, I don't think I'm okay with this keep happening. I don't think I want this experience to keep happening, or my life to be this way. How do we take back control and get in our power? So we start working through our trauma at depth, through the human psyche right down into the soul, into the pit of the stomach, and we condense the two together, and then we start moving into our soul path, which is very much using our intuition. Where am I guided to go? Which means we're no longer dependent on what others think. We're no longer dependent on how others see us. We're no longer dependent on fear of getting it wrong, because we've risen above those layers of matrix programming where we have to go through those injuries and those emotions and experiences to actually overcome that. Actually, all we ever needed was ourselves, that we have our own inner resources. When we connect deeply to who we are, those things naturally fall away. We don't worry about them as much because we have a good relationship with ourselves. But there's a million blocks in the way to having a good relationship with ourselves initially, because part of the human experience is the identity crisis of not really knowing who we are, because we're so pressured to be something or to act a certain way, or we're so dependent on the love of others that we're petrified to be ourselves because it may be unlovable in our mind. But when we actually turn to ourselves, turn to God or whatever you believe in, and we start to realize the richness of our own soul and the love that we can foster for ourselves through all that hard work, suddenly those things matter less, our vibration increases, and we attract a higher path. There's no way out but through. Otherwise, we just keep repeating. Eventually, it's so painful, we choose to evolve. We are not alone on that journey. That's what we're all here doing, whether we like it or not, whether we choose to be spiritual or not, whether we have a belief system or not. If you look deeply at the template that you're on, you're probably finding you're naturally doing this, because there are many human templates that we follow, and we're all on these maps. Although they're individual and unique, if you look across the road, somebody else might be on a very similar template, learning the same lessons, but through different people and different stories and challenges. It's looking beneath the layers of what is this existence, what are we actually doing here, and what is the purpose. It's an individual thing, it's a collective thing. But reaching the highest level of you in this lifetime is about, who am I? What is my intuition telling me? How do I connect with it? How do I use this less and know when to use it, and then know when to use this? And what would I like to fulfill with my future? How do I make the world a better place? But always don't forget yourself. How do you make your life better for you? Because you are worth it.